TimeSplitters Rewind is finally coming out. It's been years, over a decade in the works, an engine change, lots of mismanagement from Crytek, a team that's had a lot of turnover and a lot of struggles. I'm happy to see it come to fruition. This is big, monumental. It has been a long time coming. We're not getting that PS4 release, but I'm just happy we're getting a release. I don't like to see mods turn into vaporware or passion projects like this. I had posted a video earlier in the air all doom and gloom about how we were never getting another TimeSplitters game, and I am so glad to be proven wrong. This is momentous, and I'm happy to be proven wrong some more. So, hey, I bet we're never gonna get another Condemned game, and I bet we'll never ever see the Vienna build of Manhunt 2 come to light. Let's see what comes of that. As for what I can expect from this build of TimeSplitters Rewind, it seems like it's going to be coming in latter part of November. Based on my experiences playing it, I tested it in 2022 before stepping back. I would assume we're going to get most, if not all, of the TimeSplitters 1 content. We'll get most of TimeSplitters 2 Arcade content, and some of Future Perfect's arcade content. I do not think we'll get much, if any, of 2's story mode, and I do not think we'll get any of Future Perfect's story mode. I also don't expect to get any sort of map maker support. We'll probably get challenges from across the games, most likely all of the first games, some of the second and third games. Music, I think, will be covered. It seems like they've had a really good run with the music for Rewind, and I've enjoyed what they've put up. I'm looking forward to what it could be like. Now, I have been critical of the gameplay of Rewind. That's the big reason why I stepped away from testing, and I haven't made a secret of that. That's why I didn't think I was a good fit to be giving feedback, because my vision of it and the developers' visions was different. It kind of played like Halo without shields and jumping. Point is that it's going to play a lot more like Future Perfect than 1 or 2, which wouldn't be a big problem if it weren't for the fact it's going to draw heavily from the first 2 games for content. So I'm hoping they can fix the issue with the clashing gameplay vibes. The fast-paced first game with the slower-paced third game. But if they are getting ready for release, it gives me hope that maybe they've sorted that out, or they've found some sort of compromise. Because I think there can be room for that. Future Perfect still has a good speedrunning scene. And I think if the levels are balanced accordingly, you could work around the reloads and such. Plus, the reloads did look nice, and I'm hopeful that all that polish and love will really shine, because the art style for the assets and the levels and everything looked great. The levels felt great. They felt like honest recreations of the originals. Now, the problem is unrelated to the developers. Developers have done their darndest to get this out, despite Crytek screwing them over repeatedly and despite the engine change. I think the big issue is that the community that's going to be getting this build isn't what it was back in 2013, or even 2022 for that matter. The TimeSplitters community, at least the mainstream one, has backslid a lot. A lot of people, a lot of new players, are going to be introduced to TimeSplitters through this game, and they're going to be met with a pretty toxic and resentful and passive-aggressive group, at least online. The main subreddit, you can't even talk about TimeSplitters Rewind. You will get banned from the subreddit if you talk about Rewind. The moderators don't like it. If you try to bring up the fact that banning people for disliking Rewind is bad, they will ban you for it and accuse you of brigading. If you go onto the TimeSplitters online Discord, you'll just find people circle jerking about how bad Rewind is and about how much better they are for disliking it. So it's going to be a weird situation, especially when they're trying to organize matches for Rewind. TimeSplitters is not a sweat fest. It was never meant to be some grindy competitive shooter, but That's what a decent chunk of the online population seems to treat it as. That's honestly why I preferred playing offline with bots. I don't want to be called a slur because I killed someone in the middle of their spree, or because I didn't make a map with symmetrical designs and such. But that's kind of been the reality. There's been a very vocal and very toxic part of the community that's gained prominence in the past few years. And unfortunately, Rewind is releasing with them in control of the main subreddit and the main online portion of the Discord. As for what can be done about that, I'd say just avoid it. Play online, organize matches outside of that. You don't give these people the time of day. They're miserable, and their whole thing is making other people miserable, so best not to associate with them. Other subreddits exist like TimeSplitters Rewind and TimeSplitters Reborn for discussing Rewind and other stuff like that. You're kind of better off disassociating from stuff of that sort. It's just a shame Rewind isn't really getting the audience it deserves. I hope that this will bring some fresh blood into the community who can make a difference. So as it stands, the community is in a sad state. That's why I've stepped away from it. There's just so much spite and resentment. Walk into the TimeSplitters online Discord, you get chewed up and spit out by people who just loathe you. It's kinda crazy, but what can you do? Every community has bad apples, and unfortunately, some rise to the top because they're the most vocal or most connected. All you can do is just move on. And to stay positive in spite of all that. That's honestly the best way to approach it. But I'm looking forward to Rewind in spite of that. I'm eager to see how it plays and how it compares. It's going to be a different experience. It's going to be more like if Future Perfect got like DLC featuring content from the first two games. At least that's the impression I got when playing it. I'd imagine it wouldn't be too far off from that, at least based on the progress videos and such. And to the development team who's stuck with Rewind all this time, thank you. Even if you guys just joined like after the engine change or more recently, this seemed poised to become vaporware. I was convinced that was going to happen earlier this year, and I'm very, very, very glad to have been proven wrong. You guys did a service to the community. You've gone through a lot, and I get it if you want to step back after this. After releasing Rewind, I would get it if you just want to move on and start a project that would just make you money. But if you still want to continue developing it, hats off to you. Rewind is special. It represents the hopes of the TimeSplitters community, and it's fitting to see it finally come to fruition. Maybe it's a sign that people still want goofy, lighthearted shooters, and if the success of Time Shifters or the success of Time Warp and other such games are an indication, I'd say that it's right. I'd say it's a sign that people don't want microtransaction-filled multiplayer. They just want to hop on with friends and have some fun blasting away in silly scenarios and so on. So, best of luck to the Rewind team with finishing up the project. I can't wait for the release, and I'm glad you guys have stuck with it through all these years. Thank you all for watching, and I'll most likely see you on Rewind. Take care.